Most people think memory is something you're born with. Wrong, you think some people just have a good memory and some don't. Wrong again. Memory is a skill, and spies treat it like a weapon. A trained intelligence officer can walk into a room for 60 seconds and walk out remembering every face, every name, every document on the desk. You can't remember where you put your keys. That's not talent. That's a system. And by the end of this video, you'll never forget the way you used to. Chapter 1. The Memory Palace. Here's what most people do. They repeat things over and over, hoping it sticks. It doesn't. Repetition is the weakest form of memory there is. Spies don't repeat. They build. 2,500 years ago, a Greek poet named Simonides discovered something strange. Your brain is terrible at remembering words, but it never forgets a place. You still remember your childhood bedroom. Every corner, every smell. So spies hijack that. They take a route they know cold, their house, their street, and they place information along it. A name becomes a face on the front door. A number becomes an object on the stairs. Joshua Foer used this exact method to win the U.S. Memory Championship in a single year. He wasn't gifted. He was trained. They call it the method of loci. Walk the route, collect the data. Your house becomes a hard drive, but here's the problem, though. A palace holds the data. It doesn't lock it in. Chapter 2. Chunking. Your working memory is pathetic. A psychologist named George Miller proved you can only hold about 7 things at once. Most of you make it worse. You try to memorize a 16-digit number as 16 separate things. You choke. The load crushes you. Spies don't see 16 digits. They see 4 chunks of 4. Same with codes, names, faces. They group everything. A novice sees chaos. A trained mind sees patterns. This is why a chess grandmaster can glance at a board for 5 seconds and rebuild it perfectly. They don't see 32 pieces. They see 5 or 6 familiar shapes. Chunk the data and the load disappears. Most people think they have a bad memory. Wrong, you have a bad system. Quick thing, if this is already rewiring how you think, hit subscribe. We fix leaky brains here, then keep going because the next part is where it actually locks in. Chapter 3. Active recall. Here's the lie school taught you. Read it again. Reread the chapter. Highlight the page. It feels productive. It's useless. Researchers call it the illusion of competence. You recognize the words, so you think you know them. You don't. Spies do the opposite. They close the file and force themselves to retrieve it. From memory, painfully. That struggle is the entire point. Roediger and Karpicke proved it in 2006. Students who tested themselves remembered 50% more than students who just reread. 50%. Retrieval is the workout. Rereading is watching someone else lift. So stop reading. Start testing. Close the book and rebuild it from nothing. But here's the problem, though. You can recall something today and lose it by Friday. Chapter 4. Spaced repetition. Your brain is a leaky bucket. Hermann Ebbinghaus mapped this in 1885. He called it the forgetting curve. Learn something today, and within a week, 90% of it is gone. Deleted. Most people fight this by cramming. Wrong. Cramming is pouring water into a bucket full of holes. Spies don't cram, they space. They review the data right before they're about to forget it. Each time the memory gets stronger and the gap gets longer. 1 day, 3 days, a week, a month, the same software medical students live on, Anki runs on this exact algorithm. 5 minutes a day beats 5 hours of cramming. Every single time, build the palace, chunk the data, recall it cold, space the reviews. That is the entire system. That is how a spy remembers 100 names in a night while you forget the one you heard 10 seconds ago. They're not smarter than you. They just stopped using their memory like an amateur. But here's the thing, though. Even if you remember everything, there's still one problem. Speed. You can store information perfectly and still take forever to learn it in the first place. That's why I made the video breaking down how to learn anything scary fast. Watch it next. And subscribe before you forget.